Hello everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. This week, Rangers just about to get pass marks in Perth and UEL Betis come to town for the start of the UEFA Europa League group stages. I am Scott Carney and joining me tonight is Ryan Haymarch. First of all, hello Ryan, how are you mate?
I'm good, mate. Glad to be back on. I feel as if I haven't been on for ages, even though I think it's because it's international break and then I missed the pod straight after that. It does feel as if it's been ages since I've been on. Just about over that game before the international break. We don't need to get into any detail about that. But I'm looking for, in a weird way, I'm looking forward to just getting back to Ibrox this week, mate, and see if we can just get some sort of a lift. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to see you too.
Yeah, I don't think if you didn't really come on the debrief after the Old Firm, did you? I can't remember if you did.
I did the reaction pod from the pub.
But
I didn't do the one on the Tuesday.
Yeah, then you were kind of out,
I
suppose. Also, you've not been about because I'm the nicest gaffer in the world, mate, and you can take annual leave whenever you want. So,
you've got an email in your inbox as well, so that's for the 13th of October. I'll just drop that in there now.
Oh, away you go, man. Away you go. Honestly, never known anything like it. And the guy that's over his nervousness, Scott Gemmell. Scott, how we go? How's it going, mate?
I know bad, Carney. Good to speak to you and Ryan. It seems like a while that I've been off my annual leave from work as well. I've had that. But so I'm straight back into work today, and a wee bit shattered, but looking forward to discussing all things Rangers, even if they make it a struggle at times.
Not half, mate. Yeah, we'll certainly get into that. As I say, I'm going to need to plan some annual leave, gents. I think I'm long overdue a wee break, to be honest. But no, as I say, what else would I do with my nights? As I say, I enjoy to do this, but you boys can take annual leave whenever you like. So I'm like, right, there's usually always one. Ali's not actually annual leave tonight, by the way, so I can't really give him anything. He is working. He's away working just now, which is, again, fair enough. I can't argue with that at all. Right, before we get into things, a shameless plug as always, to support the podcast to reach the next level, you can join the YouTube channel for as little as 99p a month. You can also buy the podcast a coffee and join the Coffee Buying Legend membership via buymeacoffee.com. All the links are in the description for this podcast. If you could like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We are very close. We're less than 200 away from 5,000 already, which is bonkers. I thought it would take us to at least the end of this season, which is a bit crazy, but yes, if you could help us get to 5,000, that would be very much appreciated. I would appreciate that. I say, in terms of coffee buying goes, thank you to Brian and Lynn Haymarch for buying the podcast a coffee. Good eggs, them, Ryan, eh?
They are good eggs, mate. They're obviously splashing the cash about because it's Happy New Couch Day from Mum and Dad. They get their new couch today. So when they're watching this from their new couch, I want to say Happy New Couch Day, Mum and Dad. Yeah, they'll be absolutely buzzing. But they're good eggs, mate. They're good eggs. We must be sharing that coffee. I thought there maybe I bought 2 or 3.
Yeah, no. They've got a new couch, mate. Look, beggars can't be choosers, mate. No, I'm kidding on. It's very much appreciated. It's very much appreciated, the support. Really, really, really nice. Nice of them to do so. And yeah, happy new couch. Hopefully this makes it out to them just in time for them to sit down with a cup of tea tonight, mate, to watch it. Right, we'll start with the St Johnstone game. So obviously St Johnstone 0, Rangers 2. Not the performance we were really wanting. Maybe not expecting again as well. I think that's probably a wee bit too idealistic to have thought that Rangers were all of a sudden going to turn into a tremendous football team, but a win, and a hugely important one at that. It was vital to get the 3 points, and at a ground that has previously been troublesome for us, Ryan. The game itself, mate, I think we couldn't have expected Rangers to come into this and all of a sudden start playing free-flowing football like Barcelona of 2000, mate. It was never really going to happen, and ultimately now that time has passed from it, and I've obviously had the reaction after the game, I was still a wee bit, and I probably still am a wee bit, not too impressed with what I've seen. My opinions haven't changed on what the concerns I feel are with Beale, but the most important thing, mate, was getting a win, no matter what, because we had to quickly get back on track.
Yeah, it's always the most important thing before anything, before any egos or who you want removed from the team or management or whatever. The most important thing is 3 points for Rangers on Saturday, and we got it. So there's no doubt about that. But yeah, you're wanting a performance, you're wanting a click, you want to see something different. I don't think, we're never going to play like Barcelona, as you say, or the old Barcelona. I don't think you're ever going to see that. I think you just want to see a couple of patterns of play, something kind of clicking, some sort of identity to the team. I'll be honest, I'm starting to see an identity to the team, believe it or not, and I think we're a possession-based football team. I think that's very clear to see. I think we will recycle the ball all the time. We are not a direct attacking team. I don't think that's the style Michael Beale is going to bring. So if anybody's wanting that, I would tune out, because that's not the football we're going to play. But if you get 3 points every week, I'll take it. I've always said that if Rangers get 3 points from now to the end of the season and play like that or worse, I'll take it, because it'll bring trophies. But that's a big thing. They've got to do it in big games. They've got to be able to grind out results in big games, and that's what they've not done up until now. But in terms of Saturday, they got to 3 points. There's a couple of positives in there, in terms of like Tom Lawrence, Danilo, etc. But overall, Rangers get 3 points up the road. But the performance, mate, we all know, has to improve. It has to, because I don't rate St Johnstone, with all due respect. I think they're going to be a team who are going to be struggling this season. I think you could see they didn't really pose much threat. I think we would all be sitting watching the game Saturday thinking the same, like the only chance they've got of scoring is probably us mucking up. Again, that's how I always feel about Rangers. But yeah, it's very much and it's a stamp that we put on the pod every time we win. 3 points and up the road.
Yeah, Scotia, it was very much like that, and Ryan's right that I think to expect a complete overhaul of what Beale was going to be doing, or the way that he's intended playing football, at least straight away, at least just now, while he's battling against the Rangers faithful, mate, in terms of he needs to rebuild that faith more than anything else in him. We were never going to play tremendous football, but it was incredibly important for Michael Beale, no matter what, by hook or by crook, mate, to get 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 points were the priority, the must, because if that had finished in a draw, or God forbid it was a defeat, it would have been
curtains.
Atmosphere. The atmosphere around Rangers. It would be, so yes, getting the 3 points was the main thing. But I don't know about you, Zaf, when into that game, turned it on in 12 o'clock on a Saturday, and I wasn't really feeling up for the game myself to sit and watch it. And then the get after it, I was like, right, 3 points, but I wasn't, enthused about Rangers. It was just like, right, job done, tick that box, on we go, onwards and upwards, as it were. But it's a bit of a struggle right now. I just think that's the atmosphere around the club at the moment. Hopefully it can change quickly, because I don't like feeling like that. But yeah, like you say, 3 points is the main thing. But I mean, we've spoken before about how our team in the 90s, during the 9 in a row era, these are the type of games you go out and win. Boring, routine, drab kind of games that you go out and win that. The problem is we've not got anything else to get excited about at the moment, and that's where, the lack of kind of enthusiasm for me is right now. But yeah, 3 points was what he needed to do, and thankfully we managed it.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. And I think if we had been playing terrific football up to this point and we get a performance like, if you just isolate Saturday on its own and you got that performance, you'd be like, fair enough, it was a routine win. And it was a routine win. I'm not acting like it wasn't. But the reason that it's going to be overanalyzed, as we are doing, is because we're not seeing a real identity getting stamped onto the team in terms of attacking football. We'll come on to a bit of formations, tactics, etc. in a bit. I think it is important to talk about that, because I think we're all beginning to realise that maybe the plan is what we're watching, unfortunately, because there's things of it that doesn't make sense to me. But again, I'm a very layman's term football fan. I'm by no means a tactical genius. My football manager record will tell you that itself, but I do like to think that I can try and understand. But as I say, we will come on to that. Such bad luck for Danilo, Ryan. Great move and a great finish by him. This is the most Rangers thing of 2023, mate, is that a 6 million striker gets a start, gets a goal, and then gets clattered one head on and ends up with a compound fracture, and he's had to have an operation. Just incredibly unlucky, mate. It really is.
It's unbelievable. The injuries at the moment, again, they're starting to, it's not build up, but you're just, Danilo, for me, I want to see him starting. So when he got the goal, I was like every Rangers fan thinking, yes, that's exactly what you needed. And it was a good goal. It wasn't a scuff shot. It's a very well taken header. But yeah, he's out for, I don't know how long he's going to be out for. It looked a sore one. As soon as he went down, I saw the replay. I thought he'll be in a bad way after that. And then I saw the kind of side of his face. It's as you say, 2023, probably end of 2022, 23 Rangers. It just seems to be, we have very bad luck with injuries, but you've got to keep playing through these things. You've got to have the backbone, the squad rotation to be able to deal with these injuries. But yes, we do have very bad a bad injury record. I mean, you put Cantwell in there along with Danilo. It's not great in terms of attacking sense that two of your biggest players certainly are out. And I do feel for Danilo because he's been I've got to say he's been rotting away on the bench a bit. In terms of his starting appearances, I think he's only had one or two starting appearances. He's been on the bench 4 or 5 times in a row. So he would have been eager to make an impression, and he did for me. Thought he looked lively. He's only going to get sharper with more game time, but he must be so frustrated, and we're frustrated as well. So I'm hoping it's a speedy recovery and he's not too long in the sidelines, but it was a sore one.
Was Scotia, Ryan mentioned as well that we've seen a few moments of play that you can kind of be positive about, and this move is one of them. I think James Tavernier's run's brilliant. I think Lammers plays the ball the perfect weight to him for Tav to decide whether he's going to take his man on or not, and the cross is perfect. It's straight onto Danilo's head. It is a really good goal. Look, there's people that are going to criticise Gordon for going in the way he done. At the end of the day, he's a defender going to win the ball. I can't be too overcritical of that. Yes, it's a head knock. Yes, he was late, but the end of the day, he's only trying to do his job. I don't think there was any malice in it at all, and I've seen the goal multiple times. I don't think there's anything in it, so I'm not going to be critical of him at all. He's just trying to win the ball. But it was a really good goal, mate. But as again with Danilo, it's just one of those things you're like, literally when he went down and he went off, I was just sitting. I had to sit and watch it with Ali, and had to sit and watch it with Ali. I make it sound like it's a chore. Sometimes it can be a chore watching a game of football with Alistair.
It can indeed, yes.
It can. But I just kind of looked at him and I went, of course he's injured, mate. Of course he is.
Yeah, you know what? This wee sort of 3-minute spell kind of encapsulated about how I'm feeling about Rangers, because the goal goes in and it goes in early 15 minutes on. It goes in, so you're like, yeah, no, that's good. Roof, it was linking up well with Roof before that. Danilo, good bit of movement. I thought the goal itself, like you say, yeah, well worked goal, good work by Tav and Lammers, much maligned Lammers. I don't know if you'll maybe come on to him later. That decent wee bit of play from him. Decent, really good header from Danilo, and then the head knock. It did, like Ryan says there, it did look a sore one. What I was pleased to see though, although I didn't think this would happen, is that Danilo was like frustrating to stay on the pitch, and that's always a good sign. It's not too bad, but the force that you seen that hit with, I knew he was going to get. I didn't know it was a fracture at this point. I just thought, he's getting taken off because of concussion protocols, which is the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do, but it is a bit of a shame for Danilo because, like Ryan and yourselves there say, he's been struggling to get a start. Beale's kind of alluded to that there was bits and pieces going on in the background with Danilo that maybe prevented him from starting more regularly, which I don't know if we would have maybe found out about in the press conference tomorrow had the injury not happened or not. But it is frustrating because Danilo, for me, he's a £6 million player that we've signed. He should be like our main striker, and he's not really had the opportunity to do so. And the time he does, he's only on the pitch for about 16 minutes, unfortunately. So hopefully it's not too long a one. It's a fractured cheekbone. I think he can come back fairly quickly from them, and you see all those players with the masks.
One of the masks,
the masks on. So hopefully he won't be out for too long. I think he would have, regardless, he would have missed the game because of concussion protocols. He would have missed if it wasn't a fractured cheekbone, I would imagine, on Thursday. But no, hopefully it is a speedy recovery because, like I say, that 15 minutes we've seen, he was looking decent for me.
Yeah, I agree, mate. He was looking decent for me as well, and it was a perfect start to the game, really. Scotia, I'll come back to you because you mentioned Lammers. Now, I thought he started fine, I did, but I'm going to come on and talk about the formation and the tactics, I suppose. Now, Ryan's right, we're a possession-based team, but right now what I believe that we're seeing is we're a possession-based team, but we just have possession for the sake of having possession. We're not dangerous in possession. We don't look attacking in possession, if that makes sense. There's a lot of safe passes happening, and it's a case of just keeping the ball and not letting the other team score. And I believe that we fall into a routine, a holding pattern in terms of we're a goal up, we'll just keep the ball and pass it about and not really take any great risks. And see players like Lammers, for me, I think, even though I don't think he's been great, I think he's went downhill since after pre-season, but when Rangers decide to go into this holding pattern and Kamal Roof's coming back to the centre halves to pick up the ball, for example, for reasons best known to Michael Beale and Kamal Roof, because I don't understand that at all, but I think players like Lammers are going to suffer from it because they're constantly moving, constantly working, constantly trying to get the ball forward, but we just keep doing the rotation of the ball from side to side, a wee forward pass back. So my question is, do you believe that the way that we're going into this kind of holding pattern, if you like, in terms of just retaining possession, is it's making our attacking players suffer, including Lammers?
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. On the Lammers one, I think the Lammers has got, for me, he's got a case he's trying too hard. It appears at times for me now, and he's like you say, he did have a good pre-season, but he's not really kicked on from that good pre-season. He's had wee moments here and there, like we mentioned about the goal there, but over the course of a game, he's not been great. And it's a worry because is he going to be like a player like a Matondo who, didn't really get running at all the first season he's here, and then are we going to have to be waiting until next season? I hope not, because again, we've spent a decent bit of money on Lammers, but for me, one of the issues I think is down to how Beale's setting up his teams and the tactics that he's playing. He doesn't know what way to play attacking. Sometimes he looks like he wants to play like there in the game Saturday. You had Lammers and Lawrence starting there, more as sort of two inside number 10s, a bit narrower so that the fullbacks have got space out there. Obviously, the injury changes things with Sima coming on, but then he sort of reverts back to like a 4-3-3 formation. And this is an issue that Hadji suffered with, and trying to play someone out wide right when they're not really a wide right player. They need to be played more inside. And I don't know if Beale knows who he prefers out of Lammers, Cantwell, and Lawrence. Obviously, Lawrence is getting up to speed at the moment, but we've seen that he's been trying to adjust the team, tweak the team to accommodate these players, when probably the best thing to do would be to go with one system and then one of them just has to drop to the bench. Because for me at the minute, I get the feeling that Beale doesn't really know whether to go the sort of traditional 4-3-3, would you say, that he played under with Gerrard, or if he goes with a more narrower formation that we did see in flashes towards the end of last season, and he was kind of going with more like a 4-2-3-1, 5-3-2 kind of formation at times. I don't know if Beale knows what he's doing quite yet, and he's not figured it out. And I think that translates. You see that translating into players. And the big worry for me as well is it's after about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, Rangers just stop playing, and then they allow the team, because there was a moment in the first 15 minutes of the second half. There was if St Johnstone were a better team, they would have been back in the game. They would have scored an equaliser because we were very poor, because we just stood off them, and it's a worry.
Yeah, Ryan Scotia makes a lot of very good points there. I think I think he's right in terms of Beale's. I don't think he's got a clue who his best 11 is. I honestly don't. I don't think he's got a clue what the best formation is, and it's constantly the tweaks of it keep happening. It's baffling at times. I also found that we just play in spaces, if that makes sense. On the pitch, we don't actually have a formation. It's like the ball's over there, everybody push into there. The ball's over there, everybody push into there. And there was times that we had a chance to win the possession high, which we did. We'd turn round, look for an out ball. There's no out ball. There's one striker maybe standing who's about 5 yards away from you, not able to make a run because he's got a full back and a centre half standing next to him. And we just revert back to going back to Goldson, back to Davis, back to Lundstrom, back to wherever it may be. I think we're still quite right to be in this. I know I'm not being too critical of the win. The win is all that mattered, but that's why the opinion isn't changing any from after the Old Firm, is because we still don't really understand, or we still believe that Michael Beale doesn't really fully understand who his best 11 is. And really, at this point in the season, mate, I know we're still early on, but you would like to think, 8, 9 players are kind of shoe-in bets to start. You're not really anywhere near that right now. You're looking at maybe 3, 4 possibly that will definitely start.
Yeah, and it's one of a number of concerns. By the way, lads, I am not scared to slip this into the negative gear if you need somebody to do it, because I'll do it.
No, I mean, I don't mind,
no,
mate.
I know we're gonna kind of get it in the comment. Well, I get it in the comments a bit for, but I'll call it as I see it. I think you're kind. I don't want it to turn into a Beale bashing session, but I think you're kind in when you say that he doesn't have a clue of his starting 11. I think he doesn't have a clue on his tactics or his formation or anything yet. At the moment, I feel as if he's very much finding his feet with this Rangers team and what he wants to do, because it does seem to change. Scotia makes some great points here, and it seems to change every game at least. Anyway, with Lammers, he looks as if he's trying to play 2 10s, and then he's trying to play the high fullbacks, and then, as Scotia said, they're playing inside each other. There just doesn't seem to be a pattern to anything that's happening at the moment, and I think that's why we're all getting frustrated, because put the bad results along with that, then it's not a nice combination. It's not a nice cocktail for the Rangers fans to take. So it's worrying, and I've said this 100 times. I'm exhausted saying it, but I need to say it as I see it. The biggest thing for me, I think, why Scotia said he wasn't overly looking forward to watching the game on Saturday, and I think we probably, as a support, felt like this. We weren't really up for the game on Saturday, is because of what you've seen again on Saturday there. So you've got this kind of lull with the Rangers fans just now, which I just don't seem to be seeing a reaction from the players. I'm not seeing a kind of, you know what, you hear it in press conferences how they're hurting. I heard it for John Lundstrom and Michael Beale. The players are hurting. They need to react to the next game. All they can do is win the next game. They did. I just don't see this reaction that we should be seeing, or this fight and desire that we should be seeing. They look slow on the ball and off the ball, and that's what I don't get, because that's something you're in control of. Michael Beale can't control that. He can't say to Lammers, I need you 2 yards, 3 yards at least closer to your opponent. I just use Lammers as an example there. I'm not picking on him, but they just all seem to be, and that's what worries me more, because are they not buying into what Beale's trying to do? Yeah. Is he giving them a clear game plan and they're not carrying it out? Are they supposed to be high pressing? Is there supposed to be more intensity to their game? I don't know. But in terms of, I totally lost the question. I went off on a rant. In terms of the style, boys, that it's possession based, and so many times you'll see it. We have a throw in 5 yards outside the box. I'll give you one guess where that throw in's going and who it's going to end up at. Centre halves. It goes to Tavernier will take it, or whoever takes it to Tavernier. It gets recycled. It gets played to the centre halves. We pass it about 2 or 3 times amongst the centre halves, and the opposition come out. And that's our style. That is our style. Our style is possession-based football. With really, it worries me that we don't really know what we're doing with it. We don't have a kind of, if you had a Joe Aribo or Glenn Kamara who are very careful with the ball and they take care of the ball, but we're quite wasteful. There's a lot of players who Raskin can be wasteful with the ball. A lot of Lammers very wasteful with the ball. His ball distribution isn't great, and that's what worries me, that the style that he is playing, he maybe doesn't have the midfield, all the players to play that style. But time will tell, boys. Rant over.
Yeah, no, look, I get it, mate, because there was points even in the first half where we weren't using Yilmaz at all. The guy was standing there and we're not using him, even though I don't think he's in a particularly great run of form anyway, but we were so concentrated down the right hand side, and it almost attracts the whole team over to the right hand side, and we lose even more width than what we usually have when we're set up as normal. So I get it, mate. I do 100%. I do completely get it, and the tempo is so pedestrian at times. I mean, it's just so slow. Teams are happy for you to sit and have the ball. When we are 1-0 down against St Johnstone are happy at that. They're not disappointed that they're only 1-0 down. They're hoping that you don't go hell for leather to try and make it 2-3 and put it completely out of the touching distance for them. Whereas they'll sit on you for 70 minutes, 80 minutes. They'll let you have the ball at 1-0 because they know at one point Rangers have probably got a brain fart in them. Luckily, in Saturday that didn't quite come. Into the second half, we're only at the second half. Jeez Louise. We didn't come out the dressing room at all. We just, again, and that's another theme that we see. And again, I think that goes to Beale. Beale's obviously telling them he's quite happy with what he's seen, don't need to up the gears, everything's absolutely fine. He's not telling them he needs to see more. And if he is telling them he needs to see more, then the players are not responding to it. Because that 50 minutes of the second half, you're sitting going, I've seen this so many times. And I said to Ali, I was like, 75 minutes, mate, it's still going to be 1-0 to Rangers. I guarantee you that. I was like, we're not going to be out of sight in this game by 75 minutes. And usually Ali saying, no, Rangers will get 2 or 3, we'll be fine, we'll be fine. And I'm like, that was never going to happen. So that is a real concern. Look, without dwelling on that too much, we do see a great goal. We do see a brilliant goal. Really good work by Raskin to get the ball to Tom Lawrence. Scotia. Lawrence plays a beautiful pass to the man of the moment, really, just now. The guy in everybody's lips, really, is Rabbi Matondo. When he went through me at Rabbi Matondo, I had zero doubt in my mind that he was going to score that goal. I thought, the guy's flying now, he's coming on to the game knowing that he's going to get a bit of space because St Johnstone have started to try and come out, but it did take us till 79 minutes, I think it was, for us to get that goal. But even at that, mate, when we move the ball quickly and we go at teams and we've got a player that's direct and willing to run, it works. It just worked, and I thought it was a great goal. I really did think it was a great goal, and I also breathed a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, I mean, you say it took us 79 minutes, but it only took Rabbi Matondo all of 6 minutes to do it. And
that's
true.
True.
Like you say, this is the thing. See, if that was last season and that ball got slipped into Matondo, you said that now you would think, oh no, it's going in. Last season, you'd be like, no, that's not. He's just going to run into a defender or something, or hit it straight.
Yeah.
It's funny how things can change like that. Because I was the exact same. I thought, no, he's got that. That's going in. Great wee pass in by Lawrence. I think it helped that maybe St Johnstone did maybe expend an awful lot of energy, the 15-20 minutes before then. Where, like I say, if they had been a better side, probably would have got an equaliser, or during that period. So we were fortunate with that. But no, great wee goal to finish it off. Gets you that 2-0. It's always that thing. You always need that second goal just to give you that bit of a cushion, because we've seen it too many times where we're sitting at 1-0 and the other team will go and score, and then you've only got for 10-15 minutes to change the game, and it's very difficult to change the game, particularly how we tend to kind of slow down for that middle section, sort of end section of the first half and start of the second half, where we don't tend to play with any sort of pace. But no, great wee goal, made in Wales, that goal. The Welsh will be happy with that.
You'll not be happy though. You'll not be very happy with that.
I was very happy with it.
Yeah, you don't like the Welsh. I'm only kidding, by the way. Scotia's going on again. In case there's just new Welsh people that have tuned into this, I'm only kidding. There's a running joke. Go back and check the archives. There's a running joke about that. Ryan, yeah, look, I mean, Matondo scores a great goal, but let's not beat around the bush. And Johnstone are a very poor team. They did very well, and I think their keeper, as every Celtic fan will tell you, they had a wild day at Parkhead to get them a draw there. But I'm a wee bit perplexed at how Celtic didn't at least score 2 or 3 at home against them. And I can agree that we controlled the vast majority of the game, apart from, as I said, the really start, the shaky start to the second half. But again, to me, it goes back to tactics as well. Is the tactic wait till the team's knackered and put Matondo on?
Oh, I hope not, because it won't always work.
But I bet you knew you would score, but when he was going through, I bet you had no doubt.
Yeah.
He's scoring that, 100%.
He's a player that's, you can see he's flying with confidence just now. You've seen it in was it Eindhoven, and he went on that mazy. I think we were down like 4 at a time anyway, but he went on an absolute mazy and took like 2 or 3 people out of the game and smashed the post. I mean, more of that. That's what I want to see from any player. Just grab the game sometimes and go for it. And if that was last season, he'd have checked his run and passed it back to Kamara or Jack or whoever, or Lindstrom, whatever. That was last season. So I want to see that from Matondo. That cannot be anything but good for his confidence. And I know nobody got pass marks against that lot a couple of weeks ago. Nobody did, including Rabbi Matondo. But you've got to kind of take the element of, we didn't play well as a team. He didn't exactly get things put on a plate from him. He didn't get service. I think Matondo, for me, is a player I would give a run in the team, mate. If he plays well, like tomorrow night, Thursday night, wherever you watch this, right enough. If you play well on Thursday night and play poorly on Sunday, you stick with him. You just keep playing him and let him play into form. And I won't lie to you, mate, I would do the same with Sam Lammers. I think Sam Lammers, I'm still sticking with, has something, is very clearly a confidence player. And I would just stick with him. Just now, I think he's a signing. But Rabbi Matondo's just, apart from Jack Butland, I think he's probably the most talked about Rangers player at the moment, because he has come out of nowhere. He was probably, we're looking at trying to chip him off somewhere, and he's come out of nowhere, and there's a kind of shining light in a dark tunnel. So, yeah, I want to see more of Rabbi Matondo. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I want to see more of him, because it was a very composed finish, and good on the lad.
Yeah, but I always want to be. I want them to prove me wrong. Do you know what I mean? I always want them to prove me wrong. Even Brandon Barker, genuinely. I mean that. If Brandon Barker would have proved me wrong, I'd have been the first guy to sit and say he proved me wrong, but he didn't. But Matondo he's slowly winning people over. That's for sure. Again, I don't know if he is a starter or not because again, it means we play with an out-and-out winger, and again, I don't even know if that's what Beale wants, if that's Beale's style. So it's a difficult one for it. Okay, he came on and makes an impact, but I believe that's the way Beale just now looks at him. He looks at him to be able to come on and make an impact when the opposition team are getting a bit tired. And I do think I'll stand by Ryan Kent leaving was probably one of the best things ever to happen to Rabbi Matondo at Rangers, because I think he thought, there's an area for me that I could nail down or at least make a massive impact in without the shadow of Kent really hanging over him, I suppose. But yeah, 3 points down the road. It's what we wanted, not the performance. Opinions haven't really changed, I suppose, but it was crucial to get on the. I kind of summed it up as, when you've had a really serious sick time from work, and then you go back to work that first time you go back, so you've been off for a couple of weeks, really not well. You've had the sick line in and everything, and you go back, and that first day you do the bare minimum to get through that day. That's what I seen. Right. That's literally what I seen on Saturday. I was like, that's the way I felt about it. Anyway, we'll move on to hopefully a much more exciting game and a rather big game. Real Betis are coming to Ibrox to start the UEFA Europa League group stages. They are currently sitting 10th in La Liga after 5 matches, 2 wins, 2 losses and a draw. Their most recent game on Saturday there was a thumping 5-0 defeat from Barcelona at the Camp Nou. Now again, you can't really read too much into that because playing up front for them is Juan Felix and Lewandowski. So I mean, it's quite a frightening front line, to be fair. But yeah, Ryan, I'll come back to you, mate. The performance even going back to the PSV, away game, there needs to be a complete step up from the entire team to the coaching staff and everything. We can't do on Saturday against Betis on Thursday because I would feel the worst. Okay, they're not in the greatest run of form. Okay, they're sitting 10th just now after the start of their league, but this is a La Liga team that are coming to Ibrox. There's going to need to be a vast improvement.
Oh, deja vu. Deja vu. I remember having this conversation almost every week since the season started. There's got to be an improvement, mate. Let's not beat about the bush. La Liga team, I am expecting something very similar to the PSV game in terms of they hold most of the possession. I think they've got some decent players there, and they've had some good results. As you say, I wouldn't read into the Barcelona game too much. I haven't watched them this season, Betis. But they have.
One thing I will say is they're not scoring a lot of goals, but when they're winning, they're winning, if that makes sense. Like, they're still winning. They've still won 2 games, but they're not scoring a great amount.
Yeah, to finish placed in La Liga, I think says it all. So for me, I'll be expecting a very good opposition. But yeah, I think the drew. I don't know if did they beat Villarreal away. I remember looking at the results when we got drawn against. It was something like Villarreal away. They won and they drew with Atletico Madrid away. Something like that. A couple of impressive performances. Was it? So a couple of impressive performances there. So yeah, I think Rangers will be up against it on Thursday. However, I do think it's a free hit. I think in my head might be defeatist. I don't know, but I think Betis are the favourites to win the group. And then I think it's between the rest of us, which will be, I'm hoping, evenly matched, that we can outfight them for the second spot. That's the way I look at it in my head. I know there'll be some staunch guys in the comments saying that's not the way to look at it, but I think realistically in my head, I think Thursday's a bit of a free hit. Just have a go at them, maybe take a physical game to them that they might not like. I don't know what kind of team they are, but Rangers need to change it up a bit. They need to change up how they play. They can't be the slow passing against a La Liga team. I don't see it working if we are giving the ball away or not taking care of the ball properly. I don't see a team like that not punishing us. So it'll be interesting because they do have to take it up a minimum of 2 or 3 levels to play this team on Thursday and avoid defeat. But games like this are good. Games now coming thick and fast. Thursday, Sunday will be nothing but good for this team because it will separate the men from the boys and it will separate who can play for Rangers and who can't, because this, as we said, the PSV game, these are the nights that they signed for. They wanted to sign to play in European nights at Ibrox because it's famous for its atmosphere, and obviously we went there on a couple of years ago. Prove it. I've said it a million times. These players need to prove it. This is where they want to be and this is where they can play. So stage is set for them.
Yeah, Scotia, there's not much I can add to that. That's very, very fitting from Ryan, to be fair there. It is very good. The European nights at Ibrox, mate, are back. It's what everybody is. As Ryan mentioned, it's what players come here to play for. It's what every player talks about when they get it right and they get it special. Now, I believe that the fans will be there, and I believe the fans will be there in their numbers, and I believe there will be that noise. However, see if we don't see the step up that Ryan's saying, the 2-3 steps up that we get, I get the fear that we go quite flat. I get the fear that the crowd will go quite flat, because if we're going to be honest, watching Rangers just now, it can bring you down. It really can bring you down, because you're like, there's not really much to get very excited about. The players need to do their part in terms of stepping up, in terms of improving their performance, including from the management down. And I'm pretty sure the fans will respond. And at the end of the day, it's the least they owe the fans is to show that there's actually something about this team, and there is the desire, and they are hurting, and we need a reaction. You couldn't really ask for a better chance to do so. I know St Johnstone was just getting through there, but unscathed, if you like. But this one's a real opportunity to start the real road to recovery.
Yeah, it's one of these games that we've seen in the past, similar to it, that, you know, we want us to step up those levels, like Ryan was saying. My slight concern is, and what you were mentioning there about the crowd, is that, and as Rangers fans, we've got this preconception that we're basing Rangers' European performances off of our European performances under Steven Gerrard. I don't know if this Michael Beale team is quite there yet. That's my worry, that they can't step it up that level. They can't step it up like the Gio's team as well did in Europe. That's my slight concern, that it won't happen. And that's where, you know, the crowd maybe having like the wrong idea about what Rangers can actually achieve there. I fully think that we can, but I do have slight concerns that we've got that issue. I'm like Ryan, I've not watched any Spanish football at all this season, so couldn't tell you how. I've not. I don't.
Oh no, it's Italian football. You
watch,
like? Oh, fuck, it's Italian football.
I generally don't watch. I've not got La Liga TV, so I generally don't watch it. But yeah, I mean, you're coming up against a decent quality team. I know they do have some issues around goalkeeper. I know that Silva and was it Claudia Bravo?
I don't know if he's
injured. Yeah.
Back?
I've not looked. I've not seen any news today. I don't know. Yeah, I'd seen a mad rumor as well that they were potentially looking at signing David De Gea because he's without a club, so that they can bring him in and play him. But I don't know how. You know, I just briefly seen that first thing this morning. I've not looked into their injury. I think there's also a few concerns around the defence of some of the defenders being out injured. But again, middle to front, very good team. You know, decent players in there. I think they brought Perez in from Leicester during the summer there, and Isco, although he's getting on a bit, Isco is still a cracking player. So yeah, looking forward to the game, but I do, like I say, that there's a slight concern that I don't know that we're ready to make the steps up that Ryan is wanting us to make. That's my. I don't want to be too negative about it, but I just have that slight concern.
I think you're quite right to have the concern, mate. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it certainly crossed my mind, but again, it's. There's the core of this team, the old guard, if you like, have been here and done this before and bought the T-shirt, and they know what they can get out of a European night at Ibrox and how much it can do for your longevity at a club. And if you're going to want to prove yourself to see that you are indeed a Rangers player, then this is a pretty perfect game for it. I say I'm not sitting here expecting you just to come out and run over the top of them. I think we're in for a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, and Brian's right. I would imagine they have the lion's share of possession, but we can't be scared. Rangers cannot be scared. We're going to have to be really brave, and we need to stop doing the 1 step forward, 2 step back thing. It's okay getting a result, but we can't then go into the following result, which is another big game, and it is another big game. And no matter what, even if we draw one each, if we get beat 2-1, 3-1, then there's going to be criticism coming our way. But what Michael Beale can't afford, in my opinion, is another PSV away. You can't get scudded. There is just no chance that Ibrox is going to withstand seeing the team getting absolutely turned over. So they're going to really going to need to be on it. But I think Beale must know that there's a feeling of inevitability amongst the support just now, and it's probably as strong as it's ever been. So that's what I mean by saying that a big defeat on Thursday could cause the tired feeling of this kind of failure to simply become too much, because we are kind of, as a support, getting sick of putting up with But a positive result, as I say, against Betis could really be a massive step for Bill on this kind of road to recovery that we're going to need to join him on. Well, not unfortunately. Unfortunately, it was the wrong choice of word there. But by the way things are in terms of the club not removing him, Bill's going to be the manager. There's only one thing we can do is back him and hope that he can fully recover and he gets every single one of us back on side. Right, before we go, gents, Ryan, I'll come to you first. Give me a team, mate. Good luck and give me a score prediction.
A team? Oh dear. Okay. I'm not prepared for this, but I will give you one. Jack Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Borna Barisic, Raskin, Lundstrom, Jack. Front three of Abby Matondo, Dessers and Seema.
And Seema, right, okay.
And I'm going to go 2-1 Rangers. John Suter to score first.
Right, okay. I would like to I'd like to think Beale will be positive. I just don't know how quite positive. So the back five's the same. I think Suter will come back in. I would play Raskin, Jack and Lawrence. And I would play Matondo, Lammers and Dessers. Because I think Seema did quite well coming through the middle. So if we need him to come on to replace Dessers at any point, I think he would be good. I know he can get moved anyway, but I think he looked better playing through the middle, I think. So I would go with that. I'm also going 2-1 Rangers. You said 2-1, didn't you?
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 Rangers, and I'm going for Tom Lawrence to score an absolute worldie for the first goal.
Is he in the squad? Yeah.
He's in the squad, mate. Him and Kamar Roof got added back in to the squad.
Who was it that left out? Yilmaz and
Balogun. Did Balogun get left out?
Balogun get left out as well, yeah. So yeah, that's fine. Scotia, you can finish us off, mate.
Yeah, I struggled with this because, like we were saying about Beale maybe not knowing what our best team is. I don't quite know what our best team is at the moment yet either. Same back five as you lads though: Butland, Tav, Goldson, Suter, and Barisic. My midfield, I would like to see Raskin, Jack, and Cifuentes, but I think it'll be Raskin, Lundstrom, and Jack, like Ryan went with there. And then up top, very similar to use both as well, actually. Matondo starts for me, Dessers comes back in, and I would continue playing with Roof. So top three, Matondo, Dessers, and Roof. I think Roof's now got a couple of starts under his belt. He lasted the whole 90 minutes there at the weekend. I think he's getting up to that match sharpness, and I'll start with him. Go 2-1 Rangers as well, and Kamar Roof to score the first goal. Finally gets a goal that won't be chopped offside.
That won't be chopped offside. Oh, I forgot to talk about that, how much it wasn't an offside goal, but anyway, it doesn't matter. We won the game, so we can't dwell on it too much, but it just wasn't offside. The reason I know why I didn't pick Kamar Roof, mate, is because I forgot Kamar Roof isn't injured anymore. I think I would probably play Kamar Roof over Lammers now, thinking about it. I'd play Kamar Roof, Matondo and Dessers.
I forgot as well.
I think I would probably play Kamar Roof. Would you put Roof in, right now?
100%. I forgot all about Roof. There you go. That's how big a Rangers fan I am. Yeah, I totally forgot he's fit, and that's terrible. It is terrible. But yeah, I would play Kamar Roof. If he's fit, I would start him every game. So yes, I will change Kamar Roof, please. And off Seema.
This is when it's bad that I don't edit podcasts, mate, isn't it? Because I could have easily took that bit out again and we'll do it again. But no, definitely not going to do that. But yes, as the famous words of Alistair Pearson, it's over to you, Rangers. Let's hope we see a bit of a reaction on Thursday night. I'm looking forward to it. Our European nights at Ibrox are always something special, and I just hope it's one that we want to remember, not one we want to forget. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and this is hopefully the start of the road back to recovery for Beale proper. Anyway, Ryan, for tonight, mate, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, boys. I enjoyed that. Therapy as always. That's what I always call it at the moment. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Looking forward to Thursday. Hope for a performance and 3 points would do Rangers at a minimum.
That would be very nice. That would be very, very good. You'd see very happy faces after the game. Scotia, cheers, mate.
No, cheers, guys. Yeah, like Ryan, I'd really enjoyed that one tonight, and also looking very much forward to Thursday evening. And I'm loving the fact that it'll be an 8 o'clock kickoff, because that extra 15 minutes for me getting up to Glasgow
makes all the difference to you, mate.
Makes all the difference, mate. So I won't be running up the stairs as like 5 minutes into the game. So no, looking forward to it.
Well, I'm also looking forward to Ryan giving us the rendition of the Europa League theme music in the group chat sometime before Thursday. I literally cannot wait for it. That's a highlight when the Europa League comes around. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. Really do appreciate it. If you could subscribe, like the video, all the usual kind of stuff. We will be back on Thursday after the game to bring some form of reaction, win, lose or draw. So until then, I hope your team played brilliant on Thursday and we managed to get a winning start towards or a positive start at least towards the group stages this year of the Europa League. So yes, thank you very much for tuning in. Speak to you all on Thursday. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.